everybody. Ooh. Hey, what's up, Pat? How's everybody doing tonight? No, I actually didn't apply for the SSL because we're probably not gonna launch tonight, but I don't know. If we do, it's pretty quick to do. My audio's all really out of whack. That's a little better. No, we did get the sign up stuff done. So now we're kind of on to the next day of things. Alright. Let's restart Vim. Alright. Sweet, this is still open. We appear to still be logged in too. Awesome. Alright, so get to do a bunch of other stuff tonight. I did share it a while back, but let me find the link. Alright, links in the chat for the wallpaper if anybody wants that. Hey, dipping it. No problem, not Blizzard. Alright, let's get to work. So, hey Russ Jr. 08. So first thing we need to do is, we're doing all the Stripe stuff, but we're not checking that the payment actually went through properly. So let's work on that. Docs. I need to find the actual cards that are supposed to create an error. More. Really? Documentation. Ruby. Nope. Nope. Testing. So these are ones, funds will be added directly to your available balance, bypassing your pending balance. With default account settings, those will fail, but we're not checking those right now, so it doesn't matter. I should explain that on the Stripe side, you can set it so that someone has to have a valid zip code, or else, like if you have people who are basically trying to charge, like if you're running a store or something and they're trying to use fake credit cards and they don't have like zips or stuff like that, you can set it to automatically fail if the zip's wrong, but we're not doing zip code check. So this one, card declined. Boop. Log out. It's basically social bookmarking, I guess you would call it, but it's really link sharing and so a social or unsocial way to share your links and save your links without being monitored by things like third-party advertisers in order to sell you stuff, like on Pinterest, or selling your private information to other companies so that they can then market to you. So it's basically a straightforward link sharing and discovery service that cares about your privacy. Alright. So I'm going to go to the Stripe helper. Let's see what happens when we do this card. Whoops. New param. I don't know why that's doing that, but oh, because so it did hit an error. There we go. Card declined. So I wonder if there are other types of card errors. Stripe API, Python. So where are the actual errors? Type can be returned invalid, request error, API error, or card error. So these are the codes. So that's what we're getting right now. Okay. Since it's declined. So invalid request, does it tell you which ones match up to what? So card errors are the most common type of error you should expect handled. They result when a user enters a card that can't be charged for some reason. So if this happens, we should probably enter a, well, we should probably return an error. Alright, so that's type card error, code card declined. So I guess we want to know what message to actually send to the user at this point. So we know that if self.type is equal to card error and self.code, right? Yeah, self.code equals so the reason we're doing that is because will we still get a customer? No, we won't get a customer ID from that. So we can still print that because that'll print to the log, but we want to return that error. So invalid request is errors arise when your request has invalid parameters. So what's message is the field? Probably do that for that too. So we need to check if this is a type of that, which I think in Python 3 is different. Yeah, that's how you do it. This instance, what is that, stripe error? For a long time I worked in Python 2, and then I've done 2 projects in Python 3, 2 pretty long projects. So all new projects are Python 3, but I still have to switch back and forth a lot because those other projects are still in maintenance, so I still do work on them. So it's kind of a pain in the ass because mostly it's the same, but then there are certain things that are different that catch you. I don't think everyone uses Vim these days. I think people have been using Vim for a long time. So if this is a stripe error that we're returning, we basically don't want to set these things. We also don't need to make them log in again. Since we're not asking them to validate email, there's no reason to do that. Alright, so if it's an error, we want to set a flash message of whatever that error type is. So we're gonna flash whatever Stripe response.user error is. And then we also want to log this. I mean, we can nag them later based on the fact that they don't have a customer ID and their expiration date's not set. But we do want to log this. Hey man, you can use Sublime all you want, but when there's an issue on a production server, you're probably not going to have time to set up an SSH to an SSH forward so that you can use Sublime. So that's why I use VI, because it's everywhere and it's very powerful. So we're going to create a new class for errors and a new table. I think I'm getting sick, just as note, but luckily I can't give that to you guys. So what do we have for fields in there? Fair enough. Don't get me wrong, I have Sublime on here too, I just don't use it as often. It's only when I'm really lazy and I want to be able to arrow key through things and use my mouse, but that's not very often. So Stripe helper, what are the fields? So we actually here we were getting an error message because param isn't set on certain things. So we should probably fix that. So actually, we could do this in line. I think that'll work. Yeah, I mean, it's fine if you know how to use VI. That's how I learned, though, is I started a job and I had never used VI before, and it was a place where every night you were getting paged because something was going down, and it was a website that was top 1,000 Alexa rank in the United States and stuff. So and actually the guy who was my boss had just had a kid. The day I started, he was supposed to be there to meet me, and he had a kid that weekend, so he didn't show up. So I had to learn how to fix all these errors that I didn't have very much experience with, and the only thing I could use on the server was VI. We didn't even have access to other things. Alright, so we're gonna have status type code param and message. I'm not rewriting all that. Whoops. I'm just going to use ID. So we have type status code param and then message. So this is probably going to be text. I don't know which of these can be null, so we'll just allow most of them to be null. I mean, type should never be null. I don't know if that will be. And then param can certainly be null. We've seen that. All right. By the way, I knew you guys watch like the past broadcasts on Twitch, right? Because I'm pretty sure it mutes most of my audio because of that content ID stuff. Alright, so now we need to do an actual model for that. We don't need this right now. Wow, it's a really long table. So let's copy this. So integer, this isn't a foreign key. You know what we should have here is the user ID. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. So that one's fine, except it's not the primary key. Right now I'm using the Kinesis Advantage, which is the one with the wells. I sent a link to it. Status type. Status is int because it's the HTTP status code. Doesn't need to be 12, but whatever. Not really that important. So these are all non-nullable. Well, type is not nullable and is 200. So then we got code param message code. It's gonna be the same thing, but it is nullable. Wait, type's not. No, false. True. All right. And then we got param message. Message is just gonna be a string, and it can be null. Param is going to be string and null, blah blah. Alright, sweet. And we can do the user relationship here, so we can do that. And then I don't know if I want to specify all these fields and write getters and setters for them, so I might cheat, but so we'll make these all nullable. Also, alright. No. What do you think of that keyboard? Chop chop stick. Let's do a class method here. And what we want is we want to be able to pass in that error object and have it set the fields. And we'll probably pass the user ID too. Alright, so then we can just do it is a nice one. It is pricey. You can find it for cheaper on Amazon. It also has amazing durability. I think I've had this one for 5 years. So, payment error. That's a pretty good review. The other thing is, like, I've been typing on a daily basis for 10+ years now, programming every weekday for a really long time. And sometimes my wrists hurt from using a regular keyboard, and this keyboard, that never happens with. So, I mean, for that reason, since I wouldn't be able to work if my wrists hurt all the time, I'd have to switch my career. It's worth the money for that alone. But most people aren't at that point in their career, so... I mean, if I could no longer do this for a living and had to do something completely different, then I would pay anything to not have that happen, so... I mean, I don't want to go, like, drive a truck if I don't have to. I've done that before. So, and then we'll return the object. I thought I wouldn't be able to get used to it either, but it's really, like, it takes a long time because there are keys in certain, I mean, there's lots of keys that are different. Like, spacebar is only on one hand, and, you know, backspace is on a different thumb, which is just a strange place for it to be. It does take, like, 2 weeks to get used to it. But, I mean, if you have a salaried job or whatever, I used to just... When I had a salary job, I'd just spend like 25% of my day working with this and 75% working with a regular keyboard, and then slowly up it until, you know. Then we have an add method, which is going to be db.session.add self db.session.commit. Alright, so now we should be able to store payment errors. Yeah, RSI is not a joke. So here we're returning the error. Do we have... Oh. But... So we have the user ID here, but we're not passing it, so let's pass it here. And then we'll save it. And then oh, user ID. It's called Monakai-Chris. You can see it down here. Alright, so now we need to save that. So we need to import from models, import payment error. So we can print out the error, which we'll do for now, but we'll probably disable at some point. More importantly, no problem. So here we want to return self, just so we could do chaining here. So payment error equals payment error from object error dot add. That should work, right? Yeah. So let's see if that works. Just to be sure I have the latest of this. Whee! So we want to sign up with that. Whoop. Alright. Wait, did we finish the other stuff? What's up, duck? So this will flash that. This will set that. But it's not going to be customer ID because it's going to be Stripe response. Then we'll redirect them to the dashboard, but we should set up the session stuff. How's it going, man? So we'll set up the session stuff. Either way. All right. So that should be good. Alright. 392, I don't know, it doesn't matter. This one, oh, I didn't pass that. Durr. Alright, so back. HGC2C. Test that example.com. Test 39201 TN17. Can I bind class list object? Why is it doing that? I have no. What? Okay. Let's go up. So that's all happening in the ORM. Oh, so it's happening in DB session commit models 215. 215. Alright, well let's not chain this, I guess. I don't know. Yep. Still. Same line, maybe? Can I bind class list object? I don't know why it's saying that. Bang, bang. So error object. Wait, really? Those are coming back as lists? Why are those coming back as lists? So stripe error. Oh, because of this. Whoops. That was my bad. X. Sweet, that worked out. That's because we're awesome. So I mean, really we probably want to show that and then give them a link to their payment details, but we haven't done that part yet, so no biggie. Alright. Let's make sure that logged it too. It totally did. With the user ID and everything. Logging errors. Sweet. Alright. So we're checking for the payment error. And we're logging those. We should probably implement the rest of the logging. So we want to log all of these. Alright, hopefully Stripe doesn't have any really awful messages in their API like this user is awful or something, or a dickhead or a dict. But otherwise, we're probably fine. This really doesn't... I don't know why this is so far up there. Alright, so edit payment details, which really is part of this user settings page anyway, so let's put those together. Alright, we refactored our list, whatever. So this person's now logged in, can go to settings, change their email, change their password, default all links to private. Alright. So we need one more. Oh, no, it's payment details. Let's fold some of this because it's a really long page. Alright. So that's the user settings tabs. This is this. Some weird music tonight. Maybe I just listen to weird music all the time, because I feel like I say that all the time. Payment details. Alright, so payment details. Do they have an icon for like cash monies or something? Sure they do. That wasn't it. Alright. Money? Credit card. That seems more appropriate. Although that should be... Oh yeah, we should put that on our to-do list. We want to get rid of this and import that locally. Otherwise, Google will still try to track your information. Did anyone read that about, like, there was a big story about WordPress now includes that in, like, by default in the new version on all their pages. Oh, so where are we doing that? Probably doing that on the dashboard. That's kind of the point of this, is that it's really creepy how much they try to track you. My wife was looking at shoes for like one of our little ones. And then she went to Facebook like 10 minutes later, and I like looked over at her screen for a second, and like the same shoes she was just looking at were showing up in Facebook on as an ad, and I was like, that is so creepy. Alright, so these links are the reason why those are showing up as brown over there. But I don't want them to show up as brown. Well, black, whatever. So we're gonna prefix this with dashboard. That's fine, whatever. So they do have a cog and then a lock. They do have a lock. Font Awesome has everything. It's pretty awesome, you might say. Probably should have put spaces there. Sweet. Alright, so how do we get payment details back for a customer ID? For Stripe. Oh, my Stripe stuff's over here. Customers. Retrieve a customer. So when we do that, so it looks like if they want to update like their expiration month and year, that's fine. But if they want to change the actual card number, then it has to be an entirely new card. But we don't want them to have multiple cards. That's just silly. So we need to retrieve the customer if they have a card ID. Oh, we can call this. All right. So give us the last four and the Visa. Views. Oh, that's just reading. 1 second. Alright. So we need to... So we're going to need to check if the person has a customer ID. By default, are we setting that to null? Yes, we are. User will only get us. So user's only gonna do that, which I believe only returns some of the data. So it's gonna return this. No, that's fine. So if the user customer ID is set, then we need to retrieve the card details. Which would be it's gonna be this basically. Well, that is the wrong key. No. Hey, thanks for the follow, Motex. This is not Windows now. My setup's down in the bottom. I think literally the first block under this video. Customer card. So we need to check if the customer return object is. This just happens to be Chromium, so it's blue, which might give you the indication that it's Windows, but it's not. See, just Chromium. Anyways. So where's the customer response? Customers. I don't even know how to say that one. Thanks for the follow, Germeninen. Let's go with that. So we'll have this sources, which are the credit sources, I guess. What does it look like if someone doesn't have a card, though? Leaves a little bit to be desired, this data. So, sorry about that. But, hey, thank you anyways. Even if I can't say your name. I also only have like 8 seconds to read it or else it goes away, so then I'll never read it again, so yeah. Try to be quick with it. So really we want to know if this object has sources, and if it has sources, if it has a total count that's 1 or more, and then if so, then we're going to grab the default source, which is default source is just, let's try to just grab the default source because we're not going to be having multiple sources. So if customer and default source. Thanks for the follow, not Blizzard. We are literally having a blizzard outside. I wish we were having a not blizzard. Customer. So if customer is basically not none or not empty and default source is in the list of customers, then we can proceed. Is there anything in the customer that we'd actually want to show? No. So really, that's the only thing we need. But that's in the user, so we don't even need to pass that. Alright, so if that's there, then we're going to retrieve. Yeah, to reinstall Windows. Oh. Hey, Robolax. Well, that sucks. I don't know why that would be. I'm using 2 monitors right now. So that'll return a card. Wow, that just went all up tempo really quickly. Alright. We'll go with that. Alright, so oh, we wanted this. Ooh, card. No, that wasn't the card one. Whatever. So really all we want here is the last 4, the brand. No offense, but I have a feeling you did something wrong if your monitors weren't working properly. You probably just couldn't find the correct setting, but mine worked by default. Hey Motex, thanks for the donation. I really appreciate that. So we don't need name, we don't need. Yes, Xrandar is correct. That's what I use. You guys should give some love to Motex for me, because I can't really type in the chat right now, but he definitely deserves a little bit of love. Alright, so last 4, brand, don't need that. We do need these 2, because they can update those 2. So we'll basically have 2 paths. Hype. Yeah, so we'll let them set these. So we'll have 2 paths. So we'll let them either update their expiration date, or if they don't want to update their expiration date and they want to change their card data, then they basically have to do all of it. So we'll have to delete a card and then create a card. So let's do that. Alright. So we'll retrieve the card. If card. Hey Randy, too cool. My days is clear. Do it up, man. Learn C++. I have a question for everyone here. So we're almost done with this project. What do you guys, if you could see anything, want the next project to be for the next month? Alright, so if card is not none, then payment details card equals card. Alright, I'm already passing that over here, and I don't want to go like more than that. What specifically in C++? You gotta be specific. Languages are fine too, but ooh, Python based. So almost any language. Almost any language. I know most languages, but I'm not going to do certain ones because I dislike using them. But, I don't know, name. Like, let's start with this. Do you want it to be web-based or an application? And if it's going to be web-based, it could be a game, it could be an app, it could be a web app, it could be a tool to use with the web. If it's going to be a desktop application, then, you know, it could be really anything. We can make a game, we can make Ooh, a Pascal web app. I like that you added the kappa there. I'm glad you're not serious. Ooh, Golang. Alright. So now that we have that, we need to go to the user settings stuff. Oh, we already have it open. Alright, so in here, we should check, so if not user customer ID. So if the user doesn't have a customer ID, that means that they do not have a Stripe profile with us, which means that they have to basically, we have to create the entire thing. Yeah, you like web stuff. What if we do the best of both worlds? What if we do like a web JavaScript based game? Or we could do like a C++ and SDL game or something like that. I haven't used SDL before. So if not user customer ID, we want to here, let's do a straw poll. That'll make it way easier. I'll give you guys 3 options. So you mean something that's like push live every night? Is that what you're talking about, Randy? Too cool? Too cool? Why doesn't straw poll work for me? Alright, ready? Here's the poll. You guys let me know what you think. I'd definitely be open to like pushing something live every night. Just means we'd have to get to a place in the first night where it's usable and then just keep iterating on it. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man. Maybe that's what we'll do next time. Alright, so if you have no customer ID, oh, over here. Oops. User object's not subscriptable. Why, what did I do? Really? Oh, because I'm using a dot here? Or over here, rather? No, I'm not. So, if user customer ID and user settings. Why isn't that valid? Wow, it's pretty tied between web app and desktop dev tool. Oh, because it's not the dump thing. It allows colon. It's because I'm not doing this basically. At least I believe that's why. Could be wrong. User is undefined. Nope. The subscriptable part isn't complaining about the colon, but I'll try that next if it does. Where's get? I need a new damn monitor. So yes, we're just passing that. Pretty sure it's just because we're doing an object instead of a dictionary. Fair enough, it can look ugly. I get ya. But yeah, no, I didn't add it originally. I thought that was why it was causing an error. Usually I don't. There you go, just for you, so it doesn't look ugly. The reason is because it's an object and it's not a dictionary. User is undefined. Where? Wow. How is user undefined when we're passing it right here? Oh man, web app is now winning 5 votes. It has 50% of the votes. See, now the next question is going to be, what the hell do I want to make for a web app? Because that is also a good question. I have a few ideas. Template render, dispatch request. All right. Oh, You're feeling very trolly tonight, all of you. That's fine with me. Not saying I have anything against that. Making me laugh a little bit. So we also need the form. We are not going to make another link sharing service. Just to clarify, in case I didn't say that before. All right. So I mean, because of the delay, I have no clue what you're. Oh, you are credit card? Yeah, yeah. Sorry. It's been a long day. You guys in your kappas. Hey, Scott Zoc 10. What's up, man? If you look below the video, it should have my entire setup, including my dot files. But short answer is Vim. So there's a problem with your credit card. So really we want to check if payment details card. So if data payment details. Yeah, no problem, man. Happy to have you here, though. Alright. I don't know why you're giving me the sad face Menix pie. Alright, so if card's not in the payment details, then we need to set up a new card. Otherwise... we can show them the card details that they have, like the expiration date and like the last 4 digits or whatever. So we're already in span 12. Let's do something similar to this. It's basically a social or unsocial bookmarking service made for people who don't want to be tracked. It also is a link discovery service as well. I guess that's the quickest I can give it. Alright, so if card's set up, then we want to show the last 4. Which, I mean, I guess we could do... card dot, what is it, last 4? You could do regular C++ in Visual Studio, just don't choose the .NET one. We don't have the CVC, I don't think. No, they don't give us that, which is probably a good thing. But we could pretend like we have it. Why not? We're not actually going to put any of that information in there anyways. We do have the expiration stuff. So why don't we just put it as data in here? Isn't there an other that then has a C++ project under it? I don't know why you're asking the guy with Linux about Visual Studio though. Yeah, I think so too, Russ. I think you just like remove like they include some other header, instead of like the standard lib or whatever. So you just remove that. I think it uses a different. I don't know if it uses a different compiler or not. But in any case, I don't know. But it's kind of off topic, so I'm not gonna look it up or anything. their libraries are all pretty restrictive. Like you have to be GPL or you have to be Oracle basically to use them. But MariaDB has a library that's actually completely open. It's just like Boost for C++. So it actually allows you to use it in a commercial app without issue, which I think is pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know if that should be all the way over there. All right. So we got to do one of these at a time. I didn't know that either, Andy. Too cool. Which is interesting, because isn't Linux Mint now like, isn't it now kind of lightweight alternative to Ubuntu now? Because when I first used Linux Mint, it was like the show-off version of Ubuntu. Alright, so this shouldn't be sign up. This should be... Yeah, that's weird, because it was like the version that had like compiz before Ubuntu had compiz, if I remember correctly. Since so many of you people use Linux, what do you use for your window manager? Alright, so let's do some work. This is user settings.js. Oh snap, do you? Are you using my dot files too? I don't know if you are, but that's pretty awesome. We could be like twinsies. So let's do the update expiration first, because the other one requires a token. So in the bind, so nice. KDE. I haven't used KDE since they changed to like Plasma, which was a while ago. You pulled your hair out. That's what I did before bundle. Alright, so when update expiration, when this form is submitted via the submit button, we're going to post back and update the expiration number on the default source card. I used to use Dropbox for it.